Hippogriff Isle, an undisturbed skerry located off the southern coast of Shazir. It is midday, and our party has reached the mountain range where the nests of giant eggs await atop its summit. After defeating the animated tree and clearing out the cave at the base of the cliffs, the group starts climbing the mountainside. A large nest is spotted, so Waldorf climbs ahead first, securing all necessary pittons, pulleys, and harnesses for both the ascent and the eventual safe lowering of the gathered eggs. After everything is in place, the one-eyed dwarf climbs down and scans the player's characters from head to toe, looking for the lightest party member. Orson being the clear choice, Waldorf asks the young rabbit folk to accompany him to the nest. Waldorf explains this operation will take the party working in 3 separate groups. The first will climb to the top and be the ones loading eggs into the harnesses. He then suggests 2 party members be in the second group, which will be stationed halfway up the spires. Their job will be to help lower and guide the eggs down. The last group waits at the bottom, ready to load the eggs carefully into the wheeled cart. Like usual, the new captain of the guard, Sir Francis, does not trust Waldorf and demands Sir Eustace accompany him to the top.
Telling you, Francis, he's too heavy. The nest won't support him.
He'll be careful, won't you, Eustace?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Have it your way. Let's just hurry.
So as Waldorf, Sir Eustace, and Orson climb their way to the nest, Alia and Johann opt for the second position, while Francis, Gemma, and Clem await at the bottom with the cart. Eustace slips and nearly falls several times, forcing Waldorf to slow his climb and assist the bulky knight. So Orson, you are the first to reach the top. Please roll a perception check.
17.
Once inside the structure, you see 2 massive eggs, about twice the size of your head. The nest itself is built with tree branches, flotsam from the nearby shores, large feathers, and bones from small creatures, all interwoven. The winds are getting stronger up here, but this is far from the highest peak in the mountain range. Looking up towards the cliffs facing side, immediately to your left, the mountain stretches up higher and you see yet another nest, about 30 feet above your current location.
I'll wait until those 2 get up here, then suggest that I personally hop up to the higher nest to check its contents. Waldorf and Eustace can lower these 2 eggs.
You observe while Sir Eustace once again needs help to climb into the nest. The combined weight of you all causes some of the branches forming the rim of the eyrie to snap. The whole structure shifts, and Eustace's foot slips through the bottom. Some debris tumbles down the spire and towards the second group's position. I need Alia and Johann to roll a dexterity save, DC 12. Okay, you both pass. Several bones, including a whole alligator carcass, falls and shatters on the rocks below. Thankfully, Alia and Johann were able to shift themselves out of the way and avoid collision.
Didn't I say? You trying to get us all killed?
Shut up, dwarf, and help me out of this hole. My foot is now stuck.
Waldorf looks around and over to Orson. It seems he has noticed the other nest as well. No sooner do you bring it to his attention, does he ask you to investigate the nest above while he helps Sir Eustace. So Orson, I need an acrobatics check from you if you plan on climbing higher.
Acrobatics 15, and I'll use my rabbit hop trait too if I need.
It takes some effort and the remaining uses of your rabbit hop, but you safely reach the second nest. Inside this one are 5 eggs, which seem even larger than the ones below. They also have a slight striped pattern on them, or rather gray and yellow striations.
Can I tell if they're giant eagle eggs or something different?
Roll a nature check.
10.
To you, they look similar to the ones below, but just slightly bigger and with a different coloration. You have never seen a giant eagle egg, or technically any eagle eggs up close for that matter, but you imagine an egg of this size could belong to one. Looking around the nest, you see several large brown and white eagle-like feathers, so it seems plausible.
I'll carefully lean over the edge and signal to Waldorf with my hands. 5, as in we got 5 more eggs up here.
Waldorf gives you a thumbs up as he helps Sir Eustace get unstuck. The two start loading eggs into the harness and then begin lowering them to the second group. Alia and Johann, I need you both to roll your choice of either an athletics check or an animal handling check to safely guide the two eggs down. I will take the higher between your rolls, however you are both still rolling at disadvantage due to your 1 level of exhaustion.
11.
Animal handling, 16.
A 16 is high enough. You successfully transport the eggs to the group awaiting at the bottom. Now, Clem and Gemma, same thing. You both need to make either an athletics or animal handling check at disadvantage to load the eggs into the cart.
Animal handling, 12.
Athletics for me, 18.
An 18 succeeds. The first 2 eggs are safely loaded into the wheeled cart. Waldorf then tosses up an additional harness and set of ropes to Orson. He tells you to start securing the eggs into the harness 2 at a time, and then lower them down to him. Sir Eustace then leans over the edge to yell down to Francis.
We've got another nest up here. Prepare for some more.
The heavy night once again breaks some of the tree branches and brittle bones which make up the lower nest. More debris comes tumbling down, and Alia and Johann need to make another dexterity save, this time DC 14.
18.
6.
A tree branch falls and smacks Johann in the face as he looks up. Johann, you take 8 bludgeoning damage, and you need to roll a strength athletics check to not fall.
13?
That is high enough to maintain your grip. Waldorf grabs Eustace and pulls him back into the nest, thoroughly scolding him again. Orson, you have finished loading the 2 eggs into the harness, but their size makes them feel unstable, like maybe only securing 1 egg at a time would have been a better idea. But nevertheless, you do as Waldorf said and begin lowering the harness containing 2 giant eggs. Roll your choice of either an athletics or animal handling check. Disadvantage.
Animal handling, 12.
Right as the harness is within Waldorf's reach, Eustace pushes his way closer to inspect the eggs. In his haste, and combined with your roll of only a 12, the harness is jostled and 1 egg falls off the backside of the cliff. Waldorf's eye goes red with fury as he takes an aggressive stance behind Sir Eustace.
Wait, that's not an eagle egg. In fact, those look just like Griffins.
His exclamation is cut short as Waldorf drives a dagger into Eustace's vital organs.
And remember, kids, snitches get stitches. I mean, we'll be back after these messages.
Does your life feel incomplete? Is something missing, or does your spirit wander aimlessly? In these busy and trying times, it's easy to neglect what matters most, and you never know when your time could be up. Behold, the Church of Apollo. Join now and stop wasting your life.
And now, back to DNV.
That's not an eagle egg. Those look just like Griffins.
His exclamation is cut short as Waldorf drives a dagger into Eustace's vital organs. After stabbing him from behind and muffling his screams, he grabs a hold of the knight and tosses him over the rear side of the cliff, beyond the sight of the group below. As Orson sees this, he catches Waldorf doing his best to imitate Eustace, throwing his voice.
Hey, did you hear that? Eustace, everything okay up there?
Putting his finger to his pursed lips, Waldorf makes a shushing motion to Orson as he climbs up to join him in the top nest.
Sorry you had to see that, Orson, but trust me, he had it coming. That fool was bound to get us all killed, and it was better him than us. Am I right?
Right. I mean, people fall all the time. He should have been more careful.
Now you're getting it. I knew I could count on you. You and Clem are all right. Here, take this. You're family now, and we always take care of family.
Waldorf pulls his hand from his pocket and passes you 2 engraved platinum coins.
Now, Griffins may be illegal to breed or sell as mounts in most regions, but they can fetch a fine reward on the black market. Let's secure these remaining 3 eggs and the one down there. We can explain Sir Eustace's little accident to Francis later. I mean, I did warn the area wouldn't support him, right?
Orson and Waldorf get all 4 griffin eggs into the lower nest and begin lowering them with the pulleys and harnesses. The first 2 go down without a hitch, but the third one smacks against the cliff wall, causing a small hairline fracture in its shell. As Waldorf secures the last egg into the harness, a large winged creature is seen flying in their direction. A griffin, cutting through the air at intense speed, makes a beeline towards the upper nest.
Oh boy, time to get it moving!
The 2 guide the last egg down to Alia and Johann, and then prepare to exit the lower nest themselves. At this point, the rest of you catch a glimpse of the griffin as well. As you both help lower the last egg to the bottom group, you can see that the griffin is being chased by another flying creature. This one with the body of a lion, red leathery wings, spiked tail, and a humanoid face.
Look out! Incoming! Manticore!
The griffin crash lands into the upper nest, turning around just in time to be pounced on by the hungry manticore. A spiny tail pierces the griffin's abdomen, and sharp claws tear its flesh asunder. From the same direction in which it came, you can now see 2 different manticores flying towards you, and it looks like a pack of about a dozen more are circling in the distance. Everyone roll initiative. Orson, you are first with an 18.
I look at Waldorf and say, I'll race ya, and then I hightail it to the bottom as quickly as possible.
Orson, with a burst of adrenaline added to your rabbit-like reflexes and agility, you make it more than halfway down the spire, right next to Johann and Alia, who are still suspended in their harnesses. Clem and Gemma, you are both up next with a 15 initiative. However, the commotion above has sent the last descending egg into a spin. It is going to take both of you to steady it and load it into the back of the wheeled cart this turn.
No sweat.
Roll an athletics or animal handling check, target DC 15, and you must both succeed in order to avoid breaking the egg.
Whoa. 15.
Clem gets a 17, thank you very much.
Success! You 2 are able to get the last egg aboard. The wheeled cart now contains 2 giant eagle eggs and 4 griffin eggs, one of which is slightly cracked. So Francis yells for the party to hurry as he prepares to help pull the cart for possibly the first time this trip. Waldorf leaps over the edge of the nest and quickly runs down the spire. By the end of this turn, he is right on Orson's tail. Johann, with an initiative of 12, you are up next.
I want to use the rope to rappel down, and if I can, use bardic inspiration on Alia as I do.
You are able to make it to the bottom and throw Alia some quick words of inspiration. Alia, you will now have a d6 to use over the next 10 minutes, adding it to either an upcoming attack, saving throw, or ability check. The manticores act next. The one in the top nest continues to tear apart the griffin's carcass. It lets loose a primal scream that almost sounds more human than bestial.
Roar, I say.
The 2 other manticores fly closer and fling several spikes which detach from their tails. Spikes ricochet off the rocks as you all descend. Orson gets hit for 8 points of piercing damage as one of these spines gets lodged into his shoulder.
Ouch.
Finally, at initiative 6, Alia.
Okay, so still hanging from the rope, I want to fire my longbow at one of the approaching manticores. So for example, if I could wrap the rope around one leg and then grip the rope with the other foot to temporarily stop or slow my descent, or at least long enough to draw the arrow and fire. Then hopefully continue down to the bottom.
Sounds great. I will first need an acrobatics check, DC 20. Then you could potentially make the attack.
All right, I'm going to add the bardic inspiration. Yes, 22!
Success.
Nice, now I make the attack. 17 to hit for 7 damage.
Direct hit. The arrow pierces one of the manticore's wings. You are then able to use the rest of your movement to reach the bottom of the spire. You now stand adjacent to the wheeled cart. Orson.
I keep running. Jacques and I want to hop into the back of the cart and take cover.
Orson reaches the bottom of the spires and climbs into the back of the cart with the eggs. He checks on Jacques to make sure he is okay, but then realizes he has beat him to the cart. Next is Clem, and then Gemma.
Well, sir, I get ready to help Francis pull the cart as soon as Waldorf has reached the bottom, by golly.
I'm gonna cast Longstrider again, targeting both Clem and Francis. Then I'll climb in the back with Orson and, do my best to protect the eggs.
Perfect. Clem and Francis's movement has been increased. Spikes continue to rain down and pelt the area around you. Thankfully, none of the eggs are hit this round. However, Clem and Gemma each take 5 piercing damage, and Aelia takes 6 from the Manticore spines. The party waits just long enough for Waldorf to reach the bottom, then they dash to the south, back into the direction of the dense forest. Once under the protection of the trees, the group slows their pace to catch their breath.
I'd like to use my last 2 spell slots to cast Cure Wounds on myself and Orson.
And I'd like to cast Healing Word on Clem and Gemma.
Done and done. The Manticores continue to circle above the canopy as they taunt the party.
No, don't run. We will eat you unless you come out. You can't hide forever.
For the next hour, the shadows cast from their winged bodies can still be seen sporadically as the party trudges through the overgrowth and damp soil.
Come out now, so I can eat you. Roar! Roar! You can't hide forever.
The party eventually reaches the clearing with the trees that they had burned away earlier. There, they see a small bird perched on a log. The bird looks at them curiously for a few moments, then flies upwards through the canopy and towards the south, out of the forest.
That had to have been him.
Ben who? Murloc?
Follow the direction that bird flew!
The pace quickens as the party attempts to follow the bird. Before long, some of you are convinced you are taking a different path than the one that brought you here, but you are still confident that you are headed towards the south. The party encounters a large nest of alligators along the southern tree line, so they must double back in order to circumnavigate and avoid combat with the beasts. By the time they safely exit the woodlands, they find themselves in a Variable Frog-topia. Dozens upon dozens of frogs and toads croak and hop around the marshy landscape, varying in size from 1 inch to several feet in diameter. Colorful moss and mushrooms blanket the patches of earth poking above the water level. A natural stream runs through here, creating lowlands that are far less murky than the ones you trekked through on your way into the forest. A thin fog envelops the area, making it difficult to see more than a few meters in front of you. Some of the reptiles and amphibians seem curious and start approaching the party. Within moments, several frogs have hopped inside the wheeled cart still in motion. Waldorf produces a small wooden coffer from his pack and carefully collects a few of the brightly colored frogs, which are undoubtedly poisonous. The longer the party remains in this foggy area and in these toads' presence, they begin to feel as if they have overstayed their welcome. They slowly try to proceed through the swamp, passing by the curious creatures intent on finding their boats embarked on the south beach. Blocking their path is a giant toad, more than 4 feet tall in its current sitting position. As the party tries to turn the cart around, the giant toad opens its mouth and launches its prehensile tongue, grabbing one of the eggs from the back of the cart. It quickly pulls the egg back into its open mouth, swallows it down, then tries to hop away. Roll initiative. We'll be back after these messages.
It's the hottest hygienic happening to hit Simonia since prestidigitation. It's called soap, and you use it to wash your filthy self with. That's right, soap. Try it today. Found in Simonia's East Marketplace. Prepare for the latest sensational innovation made in sanitation. It's called soap, and you use it to wash your stinky bits. That's right, soap. Now available in liquid bar form and for your convenience, also on hempen rope.
And now back to DNV.
Okay, first up in the initiative is Waldorf. He rolls a nat 1. So as Waldorf attempts to run after the giant toad that just swallowed one of the eggs, he trips and falls face first into the mud. Sir Francis then flicks a few of the small frogs and toads, ejecting them out of and away from the cart. The giant toad continues to hop away towards the east, now nearly 40 feet away from the party. Several other large frogs seem to chase after the giant toad as well. Aelia, you are next.
I'm gonna fire an arrow at the toad that swallowed the egg. 14 to hit for 7 piercing damage.
Hit. The arrow grazes its leg, but it fails to stop or spit out the egg. Gem, you're up next.
I'll try to hit it with a firebolt. Maybe that will make it spit out the egg. Never mind. Nat 1. Miss.
You get ready to cast your cantrip, but then get startled as a neon frog jumps into your lap. You remain sitting in the back of the cart, completely still, thus missing entirely. Johann.
Well, I suppose I could try telling it a joke. Cast hideous laughter, maybe?
You could try. You never know.
Okay, I say, hey buddy, what's a frog's favorite type of shoes? You give up? Open-toed sandals. Get it? And I cast hideous laughter, DC 13.
You're not sure at first, since you've never seen a toad laugh, but it stops for a moment, then regurgitates the egg and starts convulsing uncontrollably on the ground next to it.
Yeah!
It seems to have worked. Orson, you are next. You peek up and see another very large toad approaching the opposite side of the cart. It seems to be eyeing those tasty eggs behind you.
Not on my watch. I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness on the toad. 19 to hit, 12 poison damage.
Success. The toad gets a stomachache and runs in the opposite direction. Clem, you are up.
Well, sir, we need to find a way through this fog. Orson, I want you to cast that nifty light spell you got on Francis here. That way he can scout ahead and illuminate the path.
Good idea.
Hold on! You're not using me as bait, are you? Why can't you take point?
Hey, I don't mind. I just figured I'd give you a break for a while. But if you really want to keep pulling the cart, be my guest.
No, you're right. The shining beacon that leads the way is more in my wheelhouse anyway. Come on, everyone, follow me. What are you waiting for, Rabbit? Do your thing.
Johann helps Waldorf pull himself out of the mud, while Aelia and Gem retrieve the stolen egg. Orson uses the light cantrip to illuminate Sir Francis's breastplate for the next hour, allowing the night to guide the party out of the swamp and finally back onto the beach. It takes some time to orient themselves, but they realize they're about a quarter mile too far south on the coast from where they left the dinghies. As soon as Joe Jimmy, Gaston, and the boats are within view, the party notices a pair of taunting manticores circling above. The group dashes up the beach to join their comrades and realize the other dozen manticores in the distance appear to be getting closer. You all quickly load the cart and eggs into the small rafts.
Wait, what happened to Eustace and those other deckhands?
Daniels? Jameson?
That clumsy oaf. Jameson took a tumble off the cliff. Eustace too, even though I told him not to press his luck on that spire.
Are you sure that's what really happened? He wasn't pushed, was he?
No, completely his own fault.
And the giant spiders got Daniels, but we'll talk more about that later. First, we gotta get back across with these eggs before the rest of those manticores get here.
And with that, the two manticores above begin to bombard you with several volleys of spikes, just as you are shoving off back towards the bullfinch on the opposite side of the river. Joe Jimmy takes a hit, and Orson and Gem each take 5 damage as well. The barrage stops as you reach the other side, and the manticores appear to double back, getting ready to rejoin with the approaching flock. As you all unload the cargo and secure the boats to the hoists atop the yard arm, you see several deckhands standing on the newly constructed gangway, fighting off a couple giant crabs. Chef Gonzo holds a large crab carcass above his head and carries it aboard the deck. Spotting the approaching flock of manticores, Captain Grover begins giving the signals to disembark back through the Dagger Tongue ravine in the newly repaired Bullfinch. The ship is nowhere near restored to its former glory, but the captain says she should at least make the trip back to Wexarch, where more extensive repairs can be performed. After everyone is aboard, Murloc instructs Wesley and Waldorf to take the eggs below deck. Using the makeshift slipway, the ship departs towards the ravine. As the Manticores get closer, the captain commands the crew to man the newly assembled ballista, now mounted above the main cabin. The first ballista bolt flies high right. Adjustments are made, and the second shot impales one of the Manticores, sending it into a tailspin and splashing down into the water. Seemingly receiving the message, the flock of beasts stops their pursuit and returns to the mountain range to the north.
Avast, men. May we be blessed with smooth sailing from here on out.
We'll be back after these messages.
Hello there! Cassius Casmus Sr. at your service, reminding you to visit our general store. Family owned and operated for more than 30 years. Pick up an adventuring pack, hooded lantern, water skin, or some extra hempen rope. Just be warned that all produce is still in limited supply due to those pesky orcish raids. Although if any adventurers out there would agree to escort our supply line to Ephraim's, we'd be happy to oblige you in a 10-day cache of iron rations. Casmus Provisions and General Store. We got what you need. Or at least, mostly.
And now back to DNV.
Waves crash against the Bullfinch's hull as it sails through the Dagger Tongue ravine. This time during the daylight hours. The weather remains relatively calm and visibility clear enough to hug the north side of the ravine and avoid provoking the harpies. Many of the creatures are still in sight, nesting in the ridges and the cliffs above. However, they do not approach or try to attack during the return trip. While carousing below deck, Waldorf is heard mentioning he would have made better time if it wasn't for the poorly drawn map. With a look of genuine confusion, Murloc says he thought it was drawn pretty well. Meanwhile, Wesley just chuckles to himself.
Sorry, it's nothing. I just thought of something funny. Completely unrelated.
Murloc, Waldorf, and Sir Francis discuss the plan for the recovered eggs. As commissioned and duly expected, the 2 giant eagle eggs are to be delivered to the Duke of Crux. Hunting griffin is technically illegal in Fargyle, but Sir Francis agrees to look the other way, so long as he is allowed to personally take all credit for recovering the giant eagle eggs. This would still foster better relations between the kingdoms of Crux and Simonia as planned, but it would possibly leave Murloc indebted to Simonia until further notice. Murloc obliges, so long as he can do as he sees fit with the 4 griffin eggs. It becomes clear that Murloc plans on giving 1 egg to Waldorf for payment of services, and keeping the other 3 for himself. Murloc says he does not want these griffins to be bred and raised in service to the crown. He instead says he will raise them only until they can fend for themselves and be reintegrated into the wild, and that he has a friend who lives north of Fargyle who will help him with such a task. By nighttime, the storm has returned, though not nearly as intense as it was during the initial trip. It is the middle of the night as they exit the Dagger Tongue ravine. The ship rocks through the storm on its way back westward, still 2 days away from Wexarch on their current course. The party celebrates below deck, alongside Waldorf, Murloc, and many of the other crew members. Wesley sits in the corner transcribing spells from a book and making a stack of scrolls. His eyes look heavy and sleep-deprived, and he fidgets with his offhand under the table holding his new feathered charm, twirling it as he writes. Waldorf is as boisterous as ever. He drinks an ale, bitter black, his drink of choice, and mentions being surprised by the Harpies' attack a few days ago.
Must have been the storm that was making them more brazen. Or maybe we just ventured too close to their nests. Seems like they knew better this time. Ha! What do you think, Murloc?
Your guess is as good as mine, old friend. Logic often fails to apply when dealing with such abominations of nature. Their minds, twisted by pure evil and malice.
Murloc takes a sip from his glass of wine, joining in on the brief moment of respite aboard the rickety vessel. His face has an expression of somber relief, like the look of satisfaction post a job well done, though another arduous task awaits in the morrow. Alia and Jem receive word from Chef Gonzo that the two nobles from the other night are still not feeling well and have resigned to remain in their cabin tonight. Gonzo says he is just happy to be rid of their constant complaining. The air wafting from the kitchen smells more appetizing than usual. Some of the crew are actually anxious to be eating something else for a change. Steamed crab chowder. Sir Francis and his entourage are missing from the night's celebration, though handsome Harold and Rickett are seen briefly before they each head back to their rooms. The two say they plan on putting together a card game after the day's shift tomorrow. They invite the players' characters to join them if they are interested.
Before bed, I want to give one of the engraved platinum coins to Clem and explain what happened with Waldorf and Eustace in the nest. I tell him Waldorf seems like someone we can trust, but also one we should be very careful about angering.
What is engraved on them, by the way? Both coins have a dwarven rune carved into them that translates into the word family.
Oh yes, very nice.
And I want to change out some spells again during the next rest.
Sounds good. Everyone gets a long rest, finally removing the last levels of your exhaustion. We will wrap up this session here, but we will pick up where we left off next time. Remember to click like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And of course, thank you all as always for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Dungeons and Vagabonds.